Let us remember. It's beautiful, beautiful prayer put to song from a lesson in the Course in Miracles. Let me remember. Let me remember I am one with God. Let me remember what my purpose is. Let me remember who I am. With every breath, with every moment that I can remember, I rejoice in my remembering. This week's talk has been being activated. There's a lot of energy in our world, isn't there? A lot of active feelings, a lot of active emotions. And so today, a reminder of love's power. And how deep is your love, even when you see so much disharmony in the world? How deep are you willing to go? How deeply are you willing to feel? Unity teaches us with our first principle, God is the source and essence of all life, everywhere present, all good. God is the source and essence of all life. Now, I would venture to say that everyone in this room has an agreement to that. We do affirm it every week. There is only one presence and one power. And at the same time, we see things in the world that don't look like that don't feel like that. In quantum physics, everything originates from the quantum field, an invisible, unified energy field where all possibilities exist before manifesting into form. Physicist David Bohm described reality, implicate order, the unseen unified source, and an explicit order, the world we perceive, the inner and the outer. Just as Unity speaks to the individual personality and the collective personality, the inner, the outer, the immanent, the eminent, all of these tie-ins that all feed into the one presence, the one power. Whatever that active source is in the world, there is an active source of love in the world, whether you call it God, source, creation, mother, father, it doesn't matter. We cannot limit God by putting a name or a label. We just simply can't. But oh my goodness, don't we feel when we are out of alignment, when we are picking up the frequencies of other people and other situations? Just as particles emerge from the quantum field, all beings emerge from divine essence. Isn't that a beautiful correlation with science and spirituality? Spiritually, this resonates with God as the underlying source, not separate from creation, but the very fabric of life itself. One presence, one power. We all know this. We all know this. And we come together as community to be reminded to live from this place. The challenge of loving the unlovable. I've had a very difficult couple of weeks with things of the distant past and the not so distant past just bubbling right back up to the surface again and causing all sorts of mayhem in my reality field. And it's been challenging, but I haven't gone through it alone. I've got people that I can talk to, that I can be with. I have spiritual practices that I can be with. She's not going to like me saying this, but Janie stayed on the phone with me for 2 hours yesterday processing this. I cannot pay her enough money for the spiritual counseling that I receive from her. And I'm going to do a little bit of marketing. Her job is prayer. I know. But you want people to call you. I know you do. Because that's her job. To be with us, to be that prayed up being that is able to hold the light and the love. I hope you have someone in your life who can do that. You actually do. She's sitting right over there. She'll tell me about it later, but that's okay.
We have her number on the...
I
call her.
Mary calls her. I call her. Anybody else call her? Right? Okay, enough Janie loving. We could do that all day and she'll get up and run away. But she did. And she saw me and she heard me. And it took a little while to get to where I could have a little bit more of an opening, because I found myself, what would you say, I was angry? Maybe. I don't know what word I would put on it. But it wasn't just from the things of my life. It was the weak. And witnessing the survivors of child trafficking and sexual abuse. To stand up as beautiful, bold women and speak their truth. Now, I am not going to linger on the ugliness of so many things that are going on in our world, but we touch into it to remember to look at loving someone does not mean excusing their actions, erasing consequences, or putting ourselves in harm's way. I want you to see that, to read that, to feel that. It doesn't mean we ignore the behavior. But within us, we have that deeper love. How deep is your love? Divine love is not passivity. Divine love is the deepest power in the universe, and it holds justice, truth, and healing all at the same time. Divine love is a principle. It's a universal principle. It's unchanging, unwavering. It's the human condition that causes all of the upset, because we, as human beings, have the honor of being in our school. And whatever that lesson is for the universe as a whole, I personally don't know. But it is the reality of planet Earth. This is who we are. This is where we are. We were given free will. And this is our way of evolving into a higher level of spiritual consciousness. To be able to hold witness to things that we don't like, but to be able to step up higher and to find our way through. Does that make sense? We're here on planet Earth. This is the curriculum. We can resist it, or we can find a way to make it easier. So divine love is not passivity. It's the deepest power in the universe. It holds justice, truth, and healing all at the same time. Hafiz, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. It lights the whole sky. And even right now in this moment, we are in the beginning process of a full lunar eclipse. Just breathe that in for a moment. Yeah, it's part of the universe, of the planets doing their thing. But do you think the planets are out there void without any? You think they're just static? I don't think so. And we also know that's not true, the way the moon affects the tide. And we see we have all sorts of proof and studies of the interesting things that happen during a full moon, right? So we know that the universe can affect how we're feeling. It's our job to remember to pay attention. So again, from the Bee Gees, we're living, this is the lyrics that they wrote in 1977. This was not written this week. We're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. We belong to each other, even when we forget, even when we harm, even when we fall short, we still belong. I am convinced that people that do harm to other people have a deep-seated fear within them. There is something within them that is crying for belonging. And so they act out in ways that harm other people. There is only love. And if we're not in the presence and consciousness of love, then we are living from fear. And fear causes great harm. Love and justice together. Love without justice is sentimentality. Justice without love becomes revenge. Together they become transformative. And so we hold that. Many years ago, I was out to lunch with one of my primary value, which is justice. And a dear friend of mine, Patricia, we were talking and she says, Twyla, you do know that your primary value is justice. And I went, oh, that's why I get so triggered. It opened the door for me to understand who I was and where I operate from. It's hard to understand. I can take a lot of things. But when people mistreat other people, that's really, really difficult. And so I personally get to dig deep. I get to go deep into my power, deep into my love. And I don't know where that resonates for you, but I imagine I am not alone. So this is where peace comes in. Not peace because everything is fine, but peace because we refuse to let cruelty cruelty define our own vibration. Refuse to let cruelty define who you are. Refuse to let cruelty define your vibration. Recognize it and go, okay, all right, I see it, I feel it, I get it. Now raise the love. Find your songs. Find all those spiritual tools in your toolbox. Anchor, so your how-tos, you want to anchor in the presence. You want to pause and breathe and remind yourself, I am surrounded by the love of God. See beyond the behavior, yours or anyone else's. Separate the divine essence from the human expression. It is possible to condemn. I don't care the condemning part. To not like the action without condemning the soul. Every single person is a divine being. Every single person. One presence, one power. It's easy for me to get to a place of compassion. Sometimes it's easy for me to get to a place of compassion. Some days I have to work harder at it and call Janie. But that doesn't mean that I put myself back into the position to be hurt again. I have healthy boundaries. Hold boundaries with compassion. Love doesn't mean being a doormat. It means seeing truth clearly and responding from strength. And pray for peace through me. Don't just pray, God fix them, take care of it. Instead, we pray, let all the world be blessed with peace through me. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We know what to do. And decide daily, I am not the old self ruled by resentment. I walk as the new self rooted in love. Love is the way we walk, and when we walk as love, we light up the whole sky. And so it is.